Hello everyone, welcome to the 5th episode of On My Way From Work. I am on my way from work again, it's Monday. So, today I finally finished the importing mechanic where the new database column detected namespace was added. I managed to add some tests for it, also provide the messages for warnings if somebody has the namespaces feature disabled but the namespaces are detected. So then I stumbled upon a interesting issue with the namespace importing, because we show a user warning saying, hey, we can see you are trying to import namespaces but you have namespaces disabled, so go to the settings and enable namespaces. But the import is already saved, so when the user comes back they have the namespaces like zeroed. There are no namespaces on the page because when it got saved it was already disabled, so it got saved with disabled, and when the feature gets enabled the namespace dropboxes drop downs got nulled out. So it might be confusing, so I was considering a few options. One of them was just leave it as it is and solve it when somebody stumbles upon it. Maybe it will be just very niche functionality, so maybe I am spending time on something that nobody ever uses or nobody ever gets slapped in the face by. But the more proper solution would be to handle it somehow. So I put there a sentence saying, if you enable the namespaces in settings, you can come back and you should restart the import. So it's in the responsibility of the user, which is not very good because there is very much a lot of text in the warning message already, so probably nobody reads it till the end and then they think the namespaces are there and they aren't. So I was thinking about deleting the import when the settings is saved, just delete the import, which would be kind of tough, or it will be very specific. Or maybe I can use an event listener when somebody enables the feature, all imports should get deleted. Or maybe we can delete it by each settings save. So yeah, it doesn't sound right to me, either of those solutions. I was thinking about one more solution which I cannot recall right now. If you have some opinion about it, I would be glad if you type it into the comments and we can discuss. Use the global knowledge of the people, so you can also contribute to the open source. If you brought up some good solution, I would definitely credit you in some newer episodes of this podcast or in the commit itself. So please do. I know the solution. So we are saving the detected namespaces, but the actual namespace is null when it gets saved with the feature being disabled or off. So maybe on the get it can check whether the feature is already on, and if it is, it gets the detected namespace and save the value into the namespace itself, so it will get used next time around, which is also sounds very elaborate to me for such a small functionality, and it's really not straightforward what is going on there. So those are the three options, and the fourth one being not doing anything, which doesn't sound very professional. But yeah, so 4 options. Let's see how it goes. So this is about this dilemma. Then I had another dilemma when I was implementing the tests. I stumbled upon one thing that, for the simplicity and just making the test pass, I just enabled the use namespaces feature globally for all tests, which is not optimal. So I wanted to reduce the damage today. I also discussed it with Honza. Cheers to Honza if you are listening right now. So what is the default state? Is the default state that or not default state, but what is better for the tests, for the semantics of the tests? Is it better to keep the feature enabled by default, which is easier to write the tests with namespaces because everything should work just as good as if the feature is off? So if the feature is on and we are testing only the happy day scenarios, everything should be fine. But then there is the second point of view that maybe the namespaces are optional, so they should be disabled by default, and when somebody tests some functionality with namespaces, they should enable them. So I was thinking about this, I was discussing it with Honza, and we came to conclusion that it would be better to leave the feature off in the tests, and when somebody implements a test which includes namespaces, they should turn on the feature in the test. So I was implementing those tests today. It was like, I don't know, half a day maybe. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of time for not much work, but it's really great to have the tests for the future and also have it prepared for other people who want to write tests for some edge cases. So if you are adding just one if into a code and you see that the tests are a mess and you would have to spend really great effort just to cover the one if, then the one if stays untested, and then the broken window syndrome kicks in, and now you have like half of your code base not tested, which you may consider, or you may find as a slope, like the, I don't know the word, like the slippery slope maybe, is it in English, when you have some argument and you just extrapolate it too much for too dark scenario. So yeah, but I saw it in the wild that people are just not writing tests if it's too hard to write. So I try to prepare it for future generations, that they say just insert the test data, enable the feature, run your functionality and check your results. So I think I let it in a consistent way. You can also check the commits of me if you want. It's in the publicly pushed branch. There is no pull request yet, but it will follow in the following days. I hope tomorrow. And then I also was implementing the Cypress tests, which was like new to me. I was never implementing Cypress tests in JavaScript. So I'm very glad that the Cypress tests are there and we use them. It's kinda like whoever needed the tests to write, they just wrote it as it was, the simplest way possible, which is great. I was proposing the page object pattern today. It's the pattern where every page has its own object, and there are the methods in the like low level code, meaning look for this selector, click on this button, or button with this selector. So it's nice to have it encapsulated for all of the operations, like high level operations on the page. For example, fill in some basic information about a person and just call one method and it fills, for example, the whole form, like 10 fields of the form. And then it's like better readable if you just read it like a prose. The statements, the high level statements that you are making there. So I was proposing this, then I was coding. I put some logic into a separate file for the namespaces. So there is one method saying enable namespaces, maybe, which is like one method call, and it goes to the settings, checks the checkbox, saves, and goes back to the page where the user was before. So I guess that's it. I was thinking that there will be not much content for today. It was a boring day, but it wasn't. There is always something to talk about. We were in the Vietnamese restaurant for some beef soup, so it was also nice. And Honza and Marketa are leaving us for the rest of the year. They are going to vacation themselves, which they truly deserve. Okay guys, I'm already at home, so have a nice day and let's hear it tomorrow. I'd be glad if you had some feedback for me, if you left it under the video on the YouTube page. Okay, bye!